could be a drummer for, like, an orchestra.
Obviously, you're not cool enough to be in, like, a rock band.
Well, it was a pretty simple beat.
Hello and welcome to WayTooBroad, the show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups.
Whoa.
I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
You don't sound ridiculously excited, adult. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello, Erin and Hannah.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Hannah. Erin.
Show and tell program for kind of, whatever adults.
I was just distracted because I don't think I've used the new test slogan for a while, but since I had to read off the outline to remember how to podcast, I was reading it for once.
It's my fault because I pushed us so late. Thank you all for being so accommodating, except Ben because it's not late for you.
Yeah, it's it's canonically late. It's a silly late Friday edition of WayTooBroad.
It's canonically late, Ben. I don't know what was confusing about that.
It's confusing.
Okay.
You don't get to go to the West Coast and, like, claim a different time.
The WayTooBroad canon is EST.
That's right.
EST.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm sending you both two pictures right now.
Okay.
It's very important. They're very important. Kylie thinks that they should be discussed on pod. There's the first one.
All right, hold on.
Did you text them? What did you do?
Texting them?
I did text them.
Oh.
One is Kylie's lock screen, one is her home screen.
These are pictures of Ben's kitten, Hazel, and Ben's cat, Como.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wow, nice pictures.
Oh my god.
Aren't they
Those
so
are
nice?
a couple of kittens.
Wow.
Hazel's eyes are big and round in her picture, and Como's eyes are slitty slits.
That's
in
true.
The other.
They're not slits. They're like almond shaped.
Well, his pupils.
I mean, droop shaped.
They're droops.
He
They're still called almonds.
his eyes get real round
You're
too.
right. You're right.
You don't have to, like, replace the word almond for droop. Or the other way
I
around.
love how Hazel's framed by all of the apps.
Yeah, that's nice. I do that sometimes with my pictures. We should do another round. You know, a while back we did like lock screen, home screen.
Yeah.
We should do that again.
Yeah, send me your home screens. I'll update them on the website.
Okay, we did lock screens for the website, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to share out those two pictures when the episode goes up, Ben, if that's cool.
Yeah.
It's the silly late Friday edition of WayTooBroad. What's, Ben? What are you drinking?
I
How
got
do we do this part?
some nice ice water.
Nice ice
Tea.
water. You still have any left?
Nice.
I do. I got more than half a glass. I've paced myself.
Oh, no. Oh, Ben.
What happened? Are you choking on ice?
I was
Oh, my God.
just like purposely drinking my water really loud. I guess as proof that I still had water to the listeners. And then just choked on it. Woo!
Oh, man.
Good evening, everybody.
I have an exciting new segment for What Am I Drinking?
Ooh.
What?
It's called Seltzer Taste Test Time.
Oh, fun. Yay.
Okay, so these are the Valentine's Day themed seltzers from Polar.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Oh, they're
fun.
cool looking.
So there's a pink or like red pink one that's like pro Valentine's Day, which is called Be Mine. And it says that it contains... It's a small batch recipe made with natural fruit flavors featuring passion fruit and loving peach. Whatever that means.
Mm.
And the anti-Valentine's Day one is black.
Oh, nice.
And it's called I'd Rather Drink Alone. And it's another small batch recipe made with natural fruit flavors featuring blackberry and champagne, but it's spelled like with the word pain.
Oh,
at the end of
fun.
it.
Fun.
Yeah.
And you
So I'm
haven't
gonna-
you haven't tasted these before.
I haven't even opened them
so
yet.
fun. So you're going to open them and describe to us what they taste like?
Yes.
That's so fun.
And I have also, to clear my palate, I have a Canada Dry seltzer that's just plain. Okay,
Ooh.
so here's the first one. This is the Pro Valentine's Day Be Mine. I smell fruit immediately, like a ton of fruit.
This
Like
is the
peach.
Happy Valentine's one.
Yeah, like as soon as it was open to the air, like when you heard that fizz, you hopefully heard, it was like fruit in your face, like right away.
Would you say that the peach smells loving?
I'd say the peach smells loving, yeah.
That's nice. That is
Yeah.
nice when they smell loving. I do like
I
that.
would say that, yeah.
I do like
Okay,
that.
so here we go. I'm going to try it. I'm not going to drink it like Ben. I'm just going to drink it into my mouth and then...
That was Ben's new segment.
Drink water like a dumbass.
Yeah.
And choke.
It does make water more interesting when you try different ways to drink it.
That's right. We put it in different places where water's not normally, and that's fun.
You know, what I'm mostly... I think I can taste the passion fruit, and I can smell the peach. I think this seltzer would benefit from being a little colder, because these are both room temperature. It's not as kind of fruity as the smell makes you think it will be.
That's kind of a bummer.
But it's nice. Yeah, you know, I feel I need to be honest, so...
Is it overwhelmingly, like, peachy or, like, passion fruity? Like, what do you feel flavor? If you had to, like, describe it in a fruit flavor, what would it be?
Let me take another sip. Neither. It's sadly neither, because it's both. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like generic fruit is what it ends up. Even though the first hit of smell is peach and the first hit of flavor is passion fruit, the sum of it at the end is just like generic fruit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Lose. That one loses already, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we
Well-
don't like Valentine's Day seltzer.
Oh, it's actually called they're called Red Hearts Seltzer and Black Heart Seltzer.
Does it taste like a red heart?
Tastes like blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm opening the Black Heart now.
Ooh.
Ooh, crisp.
Ooh, fizz. I got a big fizz.
This one's gonna be nice.
I got a big fizz. It was exciting, like popping champagne.
PAIN.
Yeah. Okay, blackberries and champagne.
Not a flavor I would like in seltzer, I think. I'm going to say that before you taste it.
I like this one, but it is less flavorful. Like it tastes like very like, have you ever had champagne gummy bears, like those silly ones they sell at the grocery store? They're like in the checkout, and they have like cute packaging and they're supposed to be champagne flavored. It tastes like that. I like that stuff, you know? I just like it.
Yeah, sure.
I think because I'm not as much of a fan of fruity things, I think my vote would go to the Blackheart seltzer, but neither of them is like so intensely anything, which is, it's not a bad thing. It's like, you know, it's just what you like.
Yeah.
In seltzer.
Yeah.
So, they're both good.
Cool.
They both get 4 stars from me.
Nice. Out of how many stars?
Out of 7.
Out of 7?
Cool.
Cool.
Wow, okay.
Out of 10 teen. I have been trying to find the episode where we talked about 10 teen, and I have not been able to find it, so.
It's episode 45.
Do you know?
How you know?
No, I made that up.
Oh, man.
What if it is, though? Can you imagine?
That
you
would
even
be
imagine?
really cool. I don't think it is, though. But
Well, what reason do you have to think that's not it?
because I feel like it was more recent than that, Ben.
What are we even on? 800?
Yeah.
What?
We're on 800. This is the 800.
Yeah.
We should do a celebration.
Yeah.
Of the 800th up.
Yeah.
This is 73.
Hannah just did a seltzer taste test. What more celebration
Oh,
do you
yeah.
need?
That was our special 800 episode
Yeah,
seltzer
don't be
taste
greedy.
test.
Yeah. You're freaking welcome.
So, yes. So, thank you guys for coming to my 800th annual seltzer taste test. And, yeah. So,
Great.
Erin, what are you drinking?
I have the end of a black cherry seltzer, which I gotta tell you, I don't know what happened, but all Molly and I want to drink these days are black cherry seltzers.
Huh.
So
I like them.
Yeah, I like them too. And I thought I just casually liked them just like I liked any other flavor, but like all we've been drinking is black cherry seltzer. It's been a problem, but it's not a problem because they just have them at the store. I also have on deck an original seltzer, plain seltzer, and I'm also drinking a Negro Modelo.
That's so interesting. Mine also says original. I feel like that's a funny way to describe something that has no flavor.
I agree. It's like the original,
It's just seltzer.
no flavor. Yeah.
It's just seltzer. It's just plain. Maybe they don't want to say the word plain.
Yeah. Plain. No. Or they could just call it seltzer.
Just call it blank.
Yeah.
Could
call it
unflavored.
Not applicable.
NA seltzer.
NA.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Okay, so we got an email.
Oh, we did get an email. I feel like I should read it.
Okay, would you like to read it?
If you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay. I should have had my thing open if I was going to insist on reading it. This email is from our good friend, my best friend, Sarah. She says, "My loves, first of all, I don't know what all Eugene Levy has been in, so I wouldn't have known to mention that in my strong recommendation. This is in response to Hannah's obsession last week of Schitt's Creek and me mentioning that Sarah had recommended this show to me. Secondly, I feel like the fact that Catherine O'Hara in it is a spoiler. Thirdly, my review was glowing, which should have moved you to watch it already, because I have great taste, just like Hannah. Love the pod now that I listen to pods. Sarah." Thank you, Sarah. So sorry. What an episode for you to pick up and start listening to.
I think she was listening before that. Did you read the subject line too?
Oh, no. Sorry. Will you read it? I just closed it.
She said, this is the subject line of this email. "No, I didn't know it was all of your old pals, but also I have great taste."
It's true.
So Sarah.
And we started watching it, and we think it's hilarious. So
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
I guess that our podcast and the new topic, our podcast and the But Yeah podcast this week, the episodes that came out this week are episode 72 and their episode, let me check, I should have checked before, doing the same thing Erin did, so she better not give me shit for it. So our episode our episode 72 and the But Yeah podcast episode 54A, called Snake Questions, they both mentioned the Mandela effect, but without naming it. And I did check, Ben, and as far as I could hear, you didn't say that.
Maybe you said it in your heart.
I swear to God, it was in my head.
It's possible that I deleted it because it was crosstalk. Maybe. I do that sometimes. So it may not be that you're from an alternate universe where you said that, you know.
That's probably what it was.
Probably, but not necessarily, is all I'm saying. But yeah, that's what that is. When you grow up and all of a sudden it's the Berenstain Bears and you know it was the Berenstain Bears, that's what the Mandela effect is.
Y'all, I have to pee so bad. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
Okay. But it's also funny because there's a name for that, Ben, where you suddenly you like learn of a thing and then all of a sudden you're like seeing it everywhere. Do you know there's a name for that? No,
but I've experienced that before.
You have. So yeah, me too. Where it's and that's like not a great example because I already knew what that was. It's kind of that's more like of a synchronicity. But like when you learn a new word and then you hear it 5 times in the next week, and it's not really happening. It's just like your brain suddenly is noticing it. Yeah. Do you know what it's called?
No.
It's called the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon. And it's interesting. I looked at why it's called that, and it actually has nothing to do with anybody who had anything to do with this like theory or recognizing it or anything. It's just like there was a message board where people were talking about this phenomenon, and one example had to do with, or like the main example, I don't know, had to do with some like Let me see if I still have that article up. Okay, a West German police search for 9 members of the Red Army faction, also known as the Baader-Meinhof group, in 1976. And someone who was like interested in this phenomenon heard about that several times in the same week, and then they named the phenomenon after that, and it just like stuck.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
So it was like named just because it like happened with that thing?
Yeah, just because the person that was like talking about it, or one of them, that's one thing it happened with.
Hey, super sorry.
I did drop some interesting factoids about the Baader-Meinhof effect while you were in the bathroom, so you'll have to go back and listen to those on your own time.
Okay.
We are not going back.
Sorry, listeners, for my bio break.
That's all I have for upfront stuff.
Well, that's
Anybody else
cool,
got any upfront
and
stuff?
that's weird about, but yeah.
This pod comes out on the day of the Super Bowl, so happy football, everyone.
Man, I was
Happy
doing
football.
so great. My goal was to get all the way to the Super Bowl without accidentally finding out who's playing in it, and I accidentally saw a thing today. I was like so bummed.
The only reason I brought it up is I thought it was funny. Wow, weird way of saying that. Funny that it was once again Massachusetts versus LA, like the World Series was right after I moved to near LA.
This is a conspiracy.
That is funny.
Funny.
It's so funny.
I just couldn't care. NFL is so gross.
I never have cared about football, but also I watched like the very end of the AFC finals that the Patriots won, and like Tom Brady is a bad person. He's like a MAGA person, I think.
And he's like he cheats.
He's like
football.
He doesn't cheat. He's like actually legitimately like the best quarterback of all time. And I'm not
saying
that as a fan. I'm saying
thing.
but that was like one thing.
Whatever.
He's like
I don't care.
It's hotly debated.
He also had that was like one
Okay.
time, and he has it wasn't really his choice, and also he has like records in almost every category. Like I'm literally not a fan of football or him. I'm just like
what it sounds
like but
No,
like
I'm
factually he like
yeah, sure, okay,
is
fine.
objectively one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and I almost feel like I missed out because his career is like probably over, and I don't live in Massachusetts anymore, and like it just would have been such a good time to be a football fan living in Massachusetts when Tom Brady was playing for almost my entire life.
Yeah, it's just hard. I can't honestly I can't focus enough on I can't figure out what the fuck is even happening when I'm trying to watch football.
They're like running around.
Yeah, I have like a bare understanding of the rules of the game, but like anything past that, like why they're doing what they're doing in particular moments, or even spotting exactly what they're doing, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's hard. I do recognize, even without looking at the sort of stats about him, like even when you consider the fact that I was in the vicinity of people who cared about football, who were watching like the last big game of like that like got them into the Super Bowl, and they were like blown away by what he was able to accomplish, and they were like down in the last 3 minutes of the game. They were down, and he was able to like get them over the finish line or whatever. That's a different sport, but like then like also he's like 43, like he's like a decade older than any other like quarterback.
Like, the quarterback he was playing against is this guy named Patrick Mahomes, who has broken a lot of records as a rookie quarterback, and also played amazing in that last quarter, because like that was the only quarter I watched, because I actually like watching like sometimes the end of football games where it gets like really close and exciting like that, because even if you don't know what's going on, it's just like an exciting energy. And they scored like all of their points in the last quarter, and Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs quarterback, had a lot of like amazing offensive pushes, and it was just like cool. It was funny to see like literally someone 20 years younger than Tom Brady, and like Tom Brady was still keeping up and like ended up winning.
Yeah,
it was just wild.
Yeah, I'm very sorry to Erin for making you hear all this football stuff when you were really trying to not hear any football stuff.
Thank you.
However,
all those dudes are getting terrible brain damage.
It's awful. Football's a terrible sport.
Absolutely awful and violent and gross.
I think football as a sport should not exist.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm just like, it's a fact of life. in Massachusetts that you can't just avoid it. You literally can't avoid it. Like, I'm not a fan, and I never watch a football game on purpose, honestly. But like, it's like today when I was at work, like at the end of the day, my boss literally made eye contact with every single person in the office and made them say "Go Pats" back to her before she left. Like, you can't. And like, also like, you know, I was on vacation with my friends during that game, and they wanted to watch the game, and like, everybody that you know is watching the game. So like, on Sunday, I had no plans to watch the game, but we were invited over to play board games by our friends, and one of them is going to be watching the game, and so I'm going to be there when the game's happening. That's actually like my sweet spot for football. Like, that's what I've discovered since I've learned I can't avoid it entirely. I play board games with a group where all but one person doesn't care about the game. But then because that one person cares, I'm able to at least have some sense of how things are going. And also, it's more likely that I'll win because they won't pay any attention to the game.
Nice.
So,
sweet spot.
Yeah.
So you are also a known cheater, just like your beloved Tom Brady. I see.
I don't beloved him.
I
don't beloved him at all.
That feels like what it's like around here in March for like March Madness or something with the basketball that I don't really understand. I don't understand like the schedule at all. I'm like, these games matter? I don't know if they do or not. I really don't. Anyway.
It's madness. It's simply madness.
It's madness. And it's March. I'm like,
oh,
is it because
wait, now I get it.
Yeah, I don't understand, but yeah, I feel you. You know, the past couple years we've done a non-Super Bowl Super Bowl snack party, but it's just snack the frick up on me, where we don't watch the Super Bowl but invite people over and we all have the snacks.
Oh, that's
and
fun.
The Super Bowl is not on at any point, not at all. But lots of like wings and celery. It's great. All the good snacks.
That's it, wings and celery. You listed a snack and then a thing that comes with that snack.
No, celery is a great snack of its own.
Not even blue cheese dip, just wings and
Well,
celery.
no. If you have celery,
No
you've
sauce
got to have
on the
blue
wings.
cheese dip.
Dry wings, dry celery. It's Super Bowl snack.
Raw wings, raw celery. That's it.
Are they chicken? Who knows?
If you don't like
Are you inviting over dogs?
That would be a great dog snack party.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got a question for you guys. It's important. When you eat not celery, when you eat asparagus, the other long green vegetable, does your pee smell like asparagus?
Everyone's pee smells like asparagus.
Trick question.
Some people
I don't
can't
eat
smell it.
asparagus.
Oh, that is
Well,
weird.
no, but that's not true, though. Ian just told me, granted, I didn't fact check this, but Ian just told me that that's like something that's in your genes and that doesn't happen to everybody.
No. Some people can't smell it. It happens to everybody. The asparagus pee happens to everybody. Some people can't smell it, is what I thought it was. Yeah.
Is that like the ferret thing? How like ferrets smell awful to some people and smell great to other people?
I don't
They
know. I'm looking it up right now.
Gross. Yeah. Let's fact check it. I'm seeing like every article.
No, you're
only some
right.
people smell it.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe that's Maybe that's what he meant.
No, he was mistaken.
Oh,
Ooh.
I put my faith in my husband, and that was wrong.
it was wrong.
I should put my faith in myself and check my facts.
You should've. He
All right,
doesn't
good.
trust you for weather reports. Why should you trust him for asparagus reports?
That's a great point. All right. Okay. Well, good.
Make
I'm
sure
glad
you set
that
the
you were
record
here,
straight.
Erin.
I'm
Yeah,
glad I
so-
was here too. Gracious.
Fuck.
Well,
I can't have him go around eating asparagus, peeing on things of other people, assuming that they're not going to smell it because he's like immune.
no, we both have it.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why he was. That's why he was saying our future kids won't escape that gene, which I guess is still true, but it's not about. But it's crazy how quickly
It can happen. I can
instantly.
I can be peeing and take a bite of asparagus, and it'll be there. There it is. It's fucking there. I'm like still chewing it, and there it is.
I had like 3 little pieces in a mixed veggie bag. There was just 3 little tiny like inch long pieces of asparagus. And then 5 minutes later, went to the bathroom, and it was just asparagus.
It's so great. It's like, things are working. And it kind of, like, brings you back a little bit, right? Like, you're like...
nostalgic.
It is. Sometimes I pee and I'm like, oh, when did I have asparagus today?
Yeah. It's kind of like beets.
Yeah.
But that's scarier.
Less frightening. Yeah. The beet thing is like...
Have you ever had...
What?
Have you ever had red pee because of beets?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Like beet juice, especially if you drink a lot, like too much beet juice, your pee can turn red.
Yeah, we dig into some beets. And sometimes I'll have to like text Molly the next day as a reminder of like, we had beets. Like, stand down. Not because she's worried, but preemptively. You know what I mean?
That's sweet.
Speaking of stand down, made me think of Star Trek, which made me think, like, did you guys know that Tig Notaro is in Star Trek Discovery?
No.
I did know that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. They, like, created a character for her.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was not watching this new season because I was like not a super fan of how the last season ended, but Ian was watching it, and when she turned up, he like called me in to see her performance, which was great.
I'm just now gonna have to watch the whole thing. I'm gonna have to start at the beginning and watch the whole thing so that I can watch the next season with Tig Notaro in it.
I've never watched any
good
Star
luck
Trek.
to you.
Did I do that?
Where can we watch it, Hannah? Let us.
Well,
tell us
Ian
now.
told me. Okay, hold on. One thing is, we had a conversation earlier today where he was like, "It's actually getting kind of good at this season," and I was like, "Okay, but like that's a while that it took. Like it was like okay at the beginning, it got really good, and then it got really bad for me at the end of the first season, and then the second season I just like gave up because I was like, this is too much of a roller coaster of like wasting my time." And then he told me that most Star Treks take a couple seasons to really like get even and ramp up, and then often by the third season they're like really good. And like to me that just sounds like a show that is not doing great.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's true. That's like privilege.
The first two
like,
seasons?
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well,
the first season's really bad. The second season's okay, but
it
doesn't get like really, really good until the third season.
Like, yeah,
I stand by that.
But there's so many Star Treks, though.
I'm loving Parks and Rec so much right now. I'm really tempted to go back and rewatch the first season. Isn't that crazy?
Can I tell you something? I started rewatching it again, and I started at the third season.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And I
still like the first couple seasons now that I know the characters.
Yeah,
and I love them.
I feel like
just
I'll have
can't
more patience for him.
Stand Mark Brandanowitz, whatever. Every time he comes on screen, and all of his plot lines, and that he was ever even considered as like a love interest, just
for anybody.
Yeah, like the fact that he had this whole like I mean, I've talked about this ad nauseum, but I just can't. Every time it's brought up, I can't get over it because it bothers me so much.
Ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum.
I feel like that's a new podcast we have to start, and it's like ODD nauseum.
Oh wow, that's good.
That's a good title. Rebrand.
Wow, ad nauseum.
Way too broad.
I love it.
I don't know. Maybe it's like weird facts or something.
Weird
that we just keep
rants
repeating.
About weird stuff.
Yeah, we just keep repeating the same thing. Did you know that everyone has asparagus pee, but only some people can smell it? Did you know that everyone has asparagus pee, but only some people can smell it?
Hit you with this
some
one.
people would listen.
Did you know that everyone has asparagus pee, but only some people can smell it?
I heard that, but I think everyone has asparagus pee, and only some people can smell it.
Yeah, but it's genetic. Did you know, genetically speaking, everybody has asparagus pee, but only some people can smell it?
No. I think you have that backwards. Everyone has asparagus pee, but only some people, genetically speaking, can smell it.
That reminds me
This
of an
is
article
Ad
I
Nauseam
read.
Special Edition mansplaining.
This.
That's a segment.
I'm glad you bring this up because it reminds me of this article I read about asparagus pee and how everyone has it, but only some people can smell it.
But you know when you eat asparagus and then you go pee and you can smell the asparagus?
Some people
Only some people
smell
can't.
it. Some people can't smell it.
But do we all make the smell though?
Yep, I think that's true.
Yes, we all make the smell.
Thank you for listening to Ad Nauseum.
Please come back. We're sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna stop now.
Next time we won't keep repeating the facts. We promise. Wink, wink.
Okay. Let's pop in. Oh, you can watch Star Trek on CBS? Hold on.
I thought you were going to say online.
I was, but Ian, what channel is Star Trek on?
If I were in charge of things, the tagline for Star Trek would be "In space, in your face." That's all I have to say about
You were in
that.
charge of
It's a
things.
shame you're not in charge of things.
I know, that's how I feel.
It's on CBS, but I think you have to like get a subscription to CBS Live or something stupid.
I don't want to do that.
I know. So anyway, Ben, what's your obsession this week?
Ben, what is it?
It's me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
your obsession?
It's a podcast.
Oh.
Ooh,
It's one that one or both of you.
What is a podcast?
What?
Can you remind me what a podcast is?
No. It's one that
Okay.
one or both of you may
Everyone
have
makes
heard
it, but only some people.
I just thought it was worth a try.
It's
Okay, but we've heard of it.
Yo, is this racist?
Yo.
Have either of you heard of this or listened to it before?
No.
I've heard of it, and I think I follow the Twitter or something.
I've heard of it for a while, which is not how you say that. How do you say that?
No.
I heard of it a while ago. There it is.
I've heard of it for a while.
Well, it feels like that because I feel like I've continued to hear of it for many months now, and I remember sometime last year they added. So for a while it was just hosted by this guy named Andrew T, who is like a comedian and writer, and Tawny Newsome got added as a co-host a few months ago.
I love her.
Yeah, and that's like when I first started getting interested, but then it took me several more months to actually start listening. Basically, it's a show where Tawny Newsome and Andrew T take questions from their listeners, like they take voicemails, where people ask them questions about racism. It's questions like, I have this family member or friend who like keeps saying kind of like microaggressively racist things. How do I confront them in a way that will actually like get through to them? Or like, I want to, I really like this piece of art from this culture, but how do I like hang it up in my house and celebrate it without appropriating that culture? Things like that. And then some people who are just like, is this thing I did racist? That's really obviously racist. And then they just make fun of those dumbasses for being racist.
If you're asking, I feel like the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely
And
yes.
really, really great example of that phenomenon. And also a good introduction for listeners of this podcast is Travis McElroy was a guest on an episode a few months ago. And he was great. And the one of the voicemails was like, God, it was this guy who was like, so me and my friends are all straight white males. They're all Christian and I'm Jewish. And we have this like chat group, this like group chat where in the group chat, we all make like really like awful, like misogynistic and like homophobic jokes. But we all know that none of us actually believe that. So is that okay? Or is that still like racist? And Travis McElroy just like went off on how fucking stupid that was, and like how ridiculous the notion is that you can like joke about something and not, even if you don't believe it, which you probably still do somewhere to think that it's funny, you're still like normalizing it for everyone around you and for your friends who may actually believe it. Like you're just assuming they all don't, but like they might actually, and they might, I don't know, end up resorting to violence against someone of one of these oppressed groups because you've normalized the idea that they're lesser and funny. There's something funny about them. So yeah, it was like a lot. It was a great rant by Travis McElroy, and something really cool about this show is that like I kind of realized as I was looking through episodes and looking through the guests that I don't consume a ton of content from like queer comedians or comedians of color. And almost all of their guests are like queer or people of color. So it's like a good way, and Andrew T is Chinese American and Tawny Newsome is black, so it's like two it's just like a really good way to get introduced to people I might not necessarily get introduced to otherwise, you know, because I think they do that on purpose. Like they go out of their way to have mostly people of color who don't have like the straight white male experience, and have like, you know, perspectives about experiencing racism and homophobia or whatever in their life. So yeah, it's and also it's really funny, like the whole time. It's just also, and they usually kind of do similar to us. They usually have like an upfront bit where they talk for like 15-20 minutes about like the current events regarding racist things, especially, and like pointing out racist shit in the news, or like how things are being covered in a racist way, and then and then they do their interview with the guest, where they listen to some voicemails and answer the listeners' questions and talk about it all. It's great.
Nice.
I really enjoy
really
it.
Good. I just subscribed to it.
Rhea Butcher was on a few weeks ago too.
I was
And they
just
were great.
saying that.
As always, they were great.
Yeah, I bet they had a lot of really insightful things to add.
Yeah, they're so well spoken about things like that. And like I just really admire Rhea Butcher's like approach to life and to hateful things in general. Like their whole perspective is like, you can't, there's like, it's like physically impossible to remove all of the hate from the world. So that's not to say you shouldn't try, but it's healthier for you to just put your efforts and energy into putting as much joy in the world as possible, rather than like trying to take on for yourself, taking out all the hate. That's too much for one person, you know. But it's not too much to just like put as much joy and happiness for other people as you can.
I like that.
Yeah.
Did they ever get into like the whole concept of like the burden of sort of explaining that something is racist or why something is racist shouldn't necessarily fall onto people from that marginalized group?
Yeah, I mean they like, a lot of their callers are white people who are like asking how to explain to their other white friends that what they're doing is racist. And so that's a topic that comes up a lot, is like how it's like also on allies and white people and people who aren't part of these like oppressed groups to, you know, stand up and point this shit out when it happens, and not just like passively give anyone a pass because they're your friend or your family member or whatever. Like,
right,
you need to, in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just like, hey, you know, that makes me uncomfortable when you say things like that.
Yeah,
it's really important to do that.
Good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I think that's a good thing to always try to remember and to educate yourself on.
Indeed.
I'm gonna listen to that.
Cool.
It was a blog. That's what it wasn't a Twitter.
Yes,
I read his blog.
I think he still runs that blog.
Cool.
It's a blog, not a Twitter.
It's a blog.
It's probably both at this point, but
yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well, that's
Neato.
a great session, Ben.
Thanks.
Neato potato.
Neato potato. And people can listen to that wherever they're listening to this, presumably. Or on Earwolf, it looks like.
Yeah, it's an Earwolf
Earwolf.com.
podcast.
We like them.
Yo, they got a
Earwolf's
lot
good.
of episodes. Yo.
Yeah, they have like 1,000. They like just passed 1,000.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, and most
They're
of
kind
them
of short, right?
They're like an hour, and most of them are just
Oh, wow.
Andrew T. Tawny Newsome only joined a few months ago.
They're just an hour. That's short compared to our podcast.
Yeah, no, for some reason I thought they were like 15 minutes, but I guess I was totally wrong.
Not even close.
Not even
maybe,
close.
I mean, maybe they used to be. The show's been around a while. Maybe its format has changed.
Yeah, maybe.
Are
No
they
way to
all,
find
I wonder
out.
if they're all behind the paywall, or the older ones, or if they're like just all available. You start. Whoever's next, start going. I'll investigate.
Hey, all.
Okay, I'm next.
Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Erin. Hey,
What's
Ben.
your freaking obsession?
My obsession, listen, I'm a little embarrassed about it because it's like everyone's talking about it right now. I feel a little bit like I'm giving in to sort of the Netflix hype again.
Ooh.
But like, I can't help it. Like, I'm just very with it, you know?
Listen,
like, I'm very like current.
If they're creating great tent, look, that's not on you.
Okay. So this is a show that I've actually been avoiding for a couple of weeks. Not because of Netflix hype, but because everybody who was watching it was saying that it was making them take immediate action to, should we say, tidy up their house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kylie watched all of this show almost in one night.
The Marie Kondo show?
Yeah.
Wow, that doesn't seem healthy at all. I don't think Marie Kondo would condone that. I don't think she would Marie Kondo that.
Nice. Woo! We did it. We can end the show.
We did it. That's
all
it.
Right. Thanks everyone
That's
for
a
listening.
wrap. That's a wrap.
Talk
That's
to
a
you
series
later.
wrap on Hannah.
It's not gonna get better than that. Okay, so listen, we'd been avoiding it, but finally, so Ian and I are okay. Who has watched this? Ben, have you watched it?
I
Or
watched the first episode.
Okay, Erin, have you watched it?
I haven't watched it, but we want to.
Okay, it is called, just because I didn't say this clearly, Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. It's a Netflix series. Marie Kondo wrote that book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, I think it's called. She is apparently in her early 30s and is like...
What? I thought she was older than that. Holy shit.
We just read an article today that said she was in her early 30s. She's fucking adorable.
Yeah,
she's
so cute.
Well,
She's super
genetically,
cute.
everyone is in their early 30s, but only some people can smell it.
That was really, really good.
Fantastic.
So anyway, not to get hung up on that, she's this very tiny Japanese woman who's got an incredibly warm smile. She's extremely sweet to everybody. So she goes into people's houses and basically gives them the tools from her like method of tidying to clean up their just cluttered houses, basically. So it's not like a typical makeover show where they'll come in and like remodel the whole house or like redo all the decorations and like paint the walls and everything. All of the elements of furniture and everything are the same at the end. It's just there's less stuff around them. Or in some houses that she goes into, it's even like the main entry area or a lot of living spaces might seem pretty put together, but then they have these rooms that are just like floor to ceiling stuff. And they need to go through all of it. And so she helps them like get through that process. And I guess I haven't watched many of these types of shows, but I guess it's been a trend of like cleanup shows recently. I mean, obviously there's hoarders that everybody knows about, but there's also like ones that I guess are kind of more tough love where they're like coming into people's houses and like really like boot camp, like making them feel really bad about how their house looks and coming and like blowing it up and stuff. And she's like the total opposite of that. Somebody maybe in our family Slack, I'm not sure where, called it like a cross between Great British Bake Off and Hoarders. And that's a really good way to think of it because it's like the vibe is very warm and kind and sweet. And she's really just like, just sort of like helping these people move along to like feel happier about their homes and their spaces. But there's some really interesting elements to it that I wasn't expecting. Like most of these people that she's working with are couples. And it's interesting in the same way that I sort of, do you remember when I talked about My Cat from Hell? And I was saying that it's about the cats, but really more of the time it's about the people and knowing what to, like, how to deal with the cats and maybe changing the way they think about the cats, sort of. It's kind of like that where it's about tidying, but it also ends up being about, like, relationships. Like, it's always, like, there's some core of, it's either like there's some sort of, the fact that the house is untidy is much more stressful for one person than the other, and so it's like creating this tension in the home that then when they work together to fix it they feel much closer at the end. Or like there's just like such a wonderful sort of unifying force to going through all of this together. Maybe they were strong, but they feel even stronger as like a couple afterwards. Or there's one really touching one where a woman is actually dealing with the loss of the recent loss of her husband, and like doing the tidying that needs to be done, not just to her stuff, but to his stuff, like helps her process through sort of that loss more than she already has and stuff. And it's really very beautiful and made me cry. A lot of these episodes made me cry. And the other thing that's kind of wild about it is that one thing that she does that is so interesting, every house that Marie Kondo goes into after she's taken like the initial tour and before they start tidying, she tells the homeowners that she needs to greet their house. And then she'll kneel, and sometimes they'll kneel with her, not always, but she'll kneel on the floor in like whatever space feels right for her, and just have like a moment of silence where she kind of looks like she's like praying with her hands folded in her lap. And then she does this like very specific thing with her hands, and they always play this like the same music. Like it's this big moment at the beginning of the show where she's like introducing herself to the house and thanking it for its service, but all silently. But like, it's like, I don't know, it's funny because like different people have different reactions to it. Like everybody pretty much gets that they shouldn't be talking, but some people like feel like it's this really deep moment for them as well, and other people like it's clear that they had nothing to say about it, like they don't even have an interview part about it. But no matter how the homeowners react, every single episode makes a big deal out of like showing this thing that she's doing. I don't know if it's in the book or not, I haven't read the book, but she doesn't make them do it with her if they don't like do it. It's like she very clearly says it's just the thing that she likes to do. And Ian actually was looking, because also the way that she talks about your stuff, you know, I think you've probably heard, you know, about you should only keep things that spark joy, and if you are going to get rid of something, you should thank it for what it's done for you. She's very serious about that, and about how everything in your house like is like she basically, it's like she has this sense of sort of like everything has some kind of consciousness, and it's kind of like Ian described it as animism, like, which is a Japanese concept, I think. It's like part of the Shinto religion, where it's kind of like you ascribe sort of animal or human traits to like all kinds of things, including inanimate objects. She does a lot of that when she's talking about things. Like the way you fold clothes is it's about dealing with clutter, but it's also about like properly respecting your clothes and all that kind of stuff. She said in this one part, it made me laugh so much. She said that it's important to thank anything that you're getting, like any clothes you're getting rid of, especially, or like one example she gave was to thank clothes that you never wore, because they taught you something. What they taught you was you don't like those kinds of clothes and you don't want to wear them. Which is great. You know, it's like, thank you next. It's like,
yeah. I'm so fucking grateful for these pants.
So it's just sweet. It's just really good. And Ian and I, the reason that I was saying I don't think I'm going to have time to make a promo this weekend is because we're going to start with step 1 tomorrow. We're going to start tidying our clothes, which is always what they do first. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Love that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost like respect for yourself, right? Of like, excuse me, of like creating a positive atmosphere around your clutter and not a negative, you know?
That's what it ultimately ends up being about. Yeah, and that's like something
spoiler?
Else. No.
Whoops. Like spoiler insight.
The rough version of the process, as I understand it, is, you know, first you thank the house or whatever, but that's not required. Then you
only for her.
Yeah,
first
right.
she thanks the house.
Then you, as the person who's going to be tidying, you visualize not just like what you want your house to look like, but what you want your kind of life to look like going into the future. And then that's the image or the sort of the end goal that you keep in your mind as you're going through all these other steps. And I think that's really powerful, because in moments where you're unsure, what she asks if asking if it sparks joy doesn't work, is she'll ask, is this something that you think you want to take into your future with you? And often that will clear it up for people because they've taken the time to visualize what they want their future to kind of look like.
That's smart.
Yeah, she's smart. And there's been some people on the show that I've thought like they are never going to get rid of these things. They're way too sentimental, and like eventually it just sinks in. So so I think that's really cool. And then you start with your clothes, then books, then papers, then everything else. That's like that's a category. It's called like komono, and it's like all miscellaneous things that are not the things I just mentioned. And then after you've done all that, then you go back around to all of your sentimental items and you make those decisions last. Sorry, I'm about to burp.
Oh, they're about to cry. Different emotion.
Different.
The sentimental things. I'm sorry.
After watching
gassy.
the first episode of that show, I felt like I could watch a whole show that was just Marie Kondo folding clothes for hours.
Yeah.
It's so relaxing.
Yeah, she's very relaxing to just look at. The way that she reacts to mess is so wonderful. She gets excited by it. It's really cute. Like, it's just like she never will make anybody feel like any less of a like human being for just not knowing how to tidy. And I think that's really sweet.
I never saw an episode of Hoarders. Was the feeling like that also? Like,
no.
Did you ever watch Intervention?
The feeling was like, look at this fucking animal and their gross living.
I wouldn't say that. Hoarders was more of a documentary show, so it wasn't like there wasn't necessarily anybody coming in from outside, except there might have been like a facilitator, but a lot of the interaction was just between people and like their families who were trying to help them clear out their house.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, the whole point of it was just to put these people on display is what I mean.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't necessarily like interactions in the show, like the whole point of the show was like, look at these gross people, basically.
Yeah. My only point was that I love this like trend of like really nice spirited shows.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It's relaxing. It's like no anxiety, except like the anxiety you feel when you think like, you know, they might have a soggy bottom in their pie. You know, like that's like, I can go to a world.
That gets.
Oh man, and that's pretty bad though. I mean, that's pretty bad. But like,
it's heartbreaking.
God, you're fucked. Okay, if your bottom is soggy, you might as well go home. But you know, it's like in such an anxiety-filled world and life that we lead. It's. These shows are nice.
They're nice, yeah.
Well, that's great. I've really been wanting to watch it, so
it's good. I like it. I'm glad
Is Eugene Levy in it, though? That's really a requirement for me.
What about
unfortunately, not as far as I know.
Would you say, Ben?
Any other pals of Erin's? Are they?
Any other pals? Do you like how I like briefly forgot your name?
What'd you say, man?
Would you say, Ben? Just like micro forgot your name.
No, but they are all in the LA area, and I haven't finished them yet. So maybe there is one of your friends. I'm not sure.
Okay, great.
One of your friends from the TV. I'll let you know. Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you.
That's it. That's all I got.
Good night.
Cool. That's a good one. Great one.
Thanks.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Cool. Hi. Oh wow. Sorry.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, big yawn. Hello. Well, I don't have as neat of an obsession this week. It's kind of boring, but I have just been, for lack of anything else, I'm not obsessed with it, but just like my obsession this week is my job.
Your job.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I've just been really enjoying my job this week and the work that I'm doing. And so that's just been what I've been doing this week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like 3 days this week. I never work at night, but 3 days this week I like worked at night just because I was like excited to be working on what I was working on.
Wow.
So, yeah. So For those who don't know, I am a web developer. I write code, and it's been like 4.5 years now I've been in this career, and I just feel like I'm getting to a really cool and fun place in my career where I'm like have more confidence than I've had in the past, and like I'm learning a lot every day. And and right now my job, I'm like working on fun projects, and it's fairly low stress. And I also am working like with the people I work directly with are friends. Like I would call them friends rather than coworkers. Like they're people I've either known for years or people I haven't known for years but like really click with. So it's I'm just been having a great time at work, and it's not very interesting, but I've been just like having fun building websites and stuff. So
dope.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Any questions?
Well, can you? I wouldn't press you for details if you didn't want to give them, but like, is there anything specific you'd want to say about why your projects are exciting?
Yeah, so we're kind of starting a new project at work. So we have like an existing application that we all work on, and that's fun. I've been doing some really fun things with that. Just like the work is really interesting. It's like solving real problems so the work I do is like an internal application for a company. So it's not a software product that people buy and people that I don't know use. It's like the people who use it are the people in the company. So the company is not a software company. It's a different company, but they use the software that's built in-house, which is really interesting. And so they have like a set of things that they have to do manually, and so we spend a lot of our time like automating those processes, which is really interesting. And so it can be really fun and scrappy things. Like you can kind of do things that you don't normally do in like software that you would sell to people that needs to be like super reliable. You can kind of just like find creative and fun ways to get the job done. That is super reliable, of course, but like, so that's kind of fun, like, to problem solve that of, like, this person has to do this process over and over again. How can we make a computer do it? Yeah. And then we're building a new project, and I'm kind of just getting to do a lot on that, and that's really fun to think about, and I get to make, like, I'm in kind of making a lot of the initial decisions or like doing a lot of the research to bring to the team. And so that's been a lot of fun and kind of new for me. And it requires just like a lot of reading and researching and playing around, and it's just like really gratifying, cool stuff. And it feels like a lot of the past kind of like 4.5 years of work are kind of like paying dividends. Like I'm like drawing on the knowledge that I've gained and the work I've done in the past, and I'm able to like bring that and enhance it, in the work I'm doing now. So it's just fun. I'm just having like a fun week at work.
That's
awesome.
Like, have been enjoying it. It's just great. It's
Congratulations.
Just thanks. And I've been listening to the second Darker Shades of Magic book on my commute, and that's been really good.
I love that book.
Yeah, it's a good audiobook. I like it much, much better than the first one.
Thumbs up. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went for it.
Yeah, I'm glad that Lila has a female narrator. I just, now that I didn't realize that I needed that so much.
I love that second book.
Yeah.
I love that character.
Have you finished it?
No, I haven't finished it. I think I'm doing
what?
that
Really?
thing where
Don't
I'm
you
like
have,
afraid.
40 minutes? Didn't you have 40 minutes left? Like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah. No, sorry. I finished the second book, but I didn't finish the third one yet.
Oh, okay. I'm still reading the third also.
Cool.
Yeah. It's like, not that it's bad. It's just like, I don't think I want to finish,
That book fucking, because like, no spoilers, but the second book just like ends kind of, it's not like a resolution. Like it ends on like action is happening.
Yeah.
Like there's crazy shit going on. And the third book just picks right the fuck up. And it almost feels like you're reading like the really exciting end of a book in like the first 100 pages.
That's kind of
And then
cool.
you have like so much left, and you're like, what could fucking happen? This is like the end of a book right now. It's
You're
really
right.
cool.
That's exactly what I'm feeling. I keep on feeling like I'm near the end, and then I'm looking at the chapters, and there's like so many left.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's like One of my favorite books, I don't think I've talked about on here. Maybe I have. It's like, I was almost halfway through, and Molly was like, how's your book? And I was like, well, everything that they set up to happen has already happened. So I don't know what the fuck the rest of this book is about. So, but it's amazing. So I like books like that, actually. Because
Cool.
you know you're in for some shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, things are already fucking wild.
Yeah.
How much crazier can they get?
Yeah.
Answer a lot.
Already.
What you
Fucking
got in
wild.
store for me there, Arthur?
What you got for me, Schwab?
Arthur.
What do you have in store for me, Arthur?
I name my books.
I refer to all authors as Arthur. It's simple.
It just makes things easier.
Okay? It's convenient.
I'm rereading To Kill a Mockingbird now by Arthur.
It's by Arthur. You know, sort by Arthur. That's every book. Search for my library. It's like, you can find by Arthur. I'm like, yeah, all of them.
I love this character.
Yeah, is he like New York?
Is his name Arthur? Or no?
I like to read books by Arthur, like my name. Because I wrote all these books.
I made this.
Is this my next D&D character, you guys?
Arthur the Arthur.
Yeah, he's a chaotic. He's chaotic neutral.
What could a writer be as for a class
A
in
wizard.
D&D?
He's not a writer. He just assumes he probably wrote those books. Did I write that book? It says it's by Arthur. That's my name.
I love it. You should do it. I also really want to do a D&D campaign or an RPG of some kind where all the characters are cats, but there are different breeds and classes of cats that you can be.
That'd be fun.
I want to do it.
That sounds great. I was trying to make a cat pun, but I thought perfect was just too obvious. That sounds feline to me.
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
I think that I'm gonna start researching that because I think that there are fucking cat RPGs out there. I just
Yeah.
think there are.
There's a raccoon one
Great.
called Trash
no.
Pandas.
No thanks.
No, sorry, called Crash Pandas.
Oh.
What the fuck are you saying? There's
It's a raccoon RPG
Okay.
called Crash Pandas.
I
What do
thought
you
were trying
want
to
from
make-
me?
I thought you were trying to make a really dumb cat pun.
Nope. Not even trying.
My little brother said a really just convoluted pun the other day, and I looked at him for a second because I thought he was saying nonsense, and then I got it, and I said, "Oh, you're dumb." He was like, "Okay."
You feel like you're dumb.
That was just my pure reaction. It was just how I felt.
Like, oh, fuck you.
Oh no, you're just being dumb. I thought you were just being ridiculous, but you're just being dumb. But it was a nice pun. Shout outs to Dominic if he's listening.
Shout outs to Dominic for your nice mystery pun.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. It was dumb.
Sounds pretty great.
Yeah,
cool.
it was.
Okay, should we do homework?
Yeah.
Great job at your job, Erin. Congratulations. Ben, what's your homework?
Ben's up first.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so my name is Ben,
Hi, Ben.
and this is
Hey,
my
Ben.
homework.
Hi, homework.
Listen to Yo, Is This Racist? It's on Earwolf. You can get it wherever you get podcasts, like Spotify or Google Music Play or iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever the fuck your shit is. What? My Twitter, you all know it.
You love it.
You love it? It's nicely proved Ben. Pictures of my kitty cats. It's been mostly Hazel lately. I'm gonna start posting some Como ones because he is also really cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for me. Good night.
I have a cue for you.
Yeah.
On this podcast, are they ever like, no, that doesn't sound racist at all? I feel like the answer is no.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Because often, even if it's
like
not,
you were saying,
like, even if it's not totally racist, or like, there's usually something problematic in the way the question is framed and the perspective that someone's coming from that they point out.
Well, it's like you were saying earlier, Erin. It's like the moment that you're questioning whether something's racist or claiming that it's not, like the likelihood just like shoots up that it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you know. I mean, it's good that it's being questioned, but
right.
Yes.
Kylie is soliciting pet lock screens, by the way, on Twitter. So I just sent her mine.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, my homework is watch Tidying Up with Marie Kondo on Netflix, but serious, genuine, like, warning, like, don't watch it until you're ready to spend a lot of time tidying up your own house if you are not already, like, a super tidy person, because it will make you want to do that, like, immediately. So if you're about to be really busy, then wait, I would say, until, like, we actually literally held off on watching the first episode until, like, Thursday, because we wanted to make sure that by the time we'd watched most of it and, like, gotten that motivation, that we would be in a position to actually do something about it.
Smart.
So I'd suggest doing that.
Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Kylie watched it in a hotel in San Diego, so maybe that's also be in a hotel and watch it, so maybe you can't immediately clean up your home.
Yeah, so you can't look around your house.
The housekeeping staff actually tipped Kylie for cleaning the room after she was done, so that was nice.
Except she threw away all of the sheets because they didn't spark joy.
They didn't spark joy. My Twitter
she thanked them, though.
Yeah, she did thank them. My Twitter's at Hanthropology. It's also my Instagram, like the study people with an H at the beginning of it. I have another podcast called So Dreamy, where we talk about dreams. You can find it all the places that Ben said you find podcasts, except for earwolf.com. We're not on there. And that's it. Erin, what's your homework?
Hey. My homework is to come to Durham, North Carolina and do my job and enjoy it. My Twitter is @ErinByrne. I review lesbian movies, haven't in a while, at LesbianMovieReviews on Instagram. I have been tweeting again. You know, I took a Twitter break, but it's just one hilarity after another. These people and their tweets, they're so funny.
What people? Just all of Twitter?
Yeah, just a lot of Twitter. I just have been sending direct messages to Sarah with tweets, just like all day. These people in their tweets, they're so funny. Here's one that I liked. From Beth Newell @BethNew. Wish I had half the confidence of my 4-year-old who just peed his pants in a CVS, shrugged, and said, "Why'd that happen?"
I just retweeted that. That shit's so fucking funny.
It's so good. Oh, this one is so good. I laughed until I cried trying to read this to Molly. It's this Allie @Tragic Allie here. I am not a good hugger. Tonight, a friend hugged me and I dropped some crackers I was holding and just gently said, "My crackers," while waiting for the hug to end. My crackers. These people and their tweets. So anyway, I'm back on Twitter. I'm just gonna download the app again. Like I've been on that browser game where I'm like, I'm not really on Twitter. I'm just on the browser. But wow, boy, that's bringing me a lot of joy. Okay, that's all for me. Well, maybe I'm obsessed with Twitter this week. Okay. The end.
The end. Well, that's not how we end it. So thanks. Oh, wait, there's more. Oh my God.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you want to call us, leave us a voicemail, you can do that at this phone number, 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it. It's like after midnight. I'm so tired. If you want to tweet at us as a podcast, you can reach us at WayTooBroadPod on Twitter or WayTooBroad on Instagram. Or you also can email us at waytoobroad@gmail.com. And if you don't remember any of that, you can go to waytoobroad.com. Did I say waytoobroad@gmail.com? That's what I said, right?
I don't know. Find it all at waytoobroad.com.
Yeah, you can go to waytoobroad.com. You can find all that contact information,
Anything
including
you
our
need.
personal Twitters, anything you want. If you go to www.earnben.com, you can find anything you need there. And
That's
please
for damn
leave us a
sure.
review on iTunes, and we'll send you a sticker. And that's it. So thanks for, I'm asleep now. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for
And
everything.
the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Goodbye.
Good
Keep eating
Bye.
that asparagus and them beets. Beets is
That
good for
sounds-
high blood pressure.
What?
Beets is good for high blood pressure.
Oh,
Why
are
do
they?
you saying plural is? Boy,
Okay.
that timing was
It's
impeccable.
fantastic. Your rhythm was on point.
You could be a drummer for like an orchestra.
Obviously, you're not cool enough to be in like a rock band.
Well, it was a pretty simple beat, but it's great for like.
Oh,
a
so
piece
now
of
you're
classical
saying that
music.
drummers in orchestra
Yeah.
only can handle simple beats, huh?
But they've got to be real precise about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's like in the
Like
Great
the-
British Baking Show. If
Yep.
you're gonna go simple, it's got to be
It's gotta
perfect.
be perfect.
That's so true. What's that big drum that you have to play with the
Timpani!
giant mallets?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bam. That's what I'm
That's the
thinking for you,
timpani?
Hannah.
Yeah, I think you're right. That would be perfect.
You'd have to train
I'm
yourself
ready. I
not
found
to
my calling.
not to say go after you hit the last beat. You know, because you're so used to counting down. Go! Oh, fuck! I did it again. I've ruined this classical concerto.
Or I improved it.
Or yeah, the argument is there.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.